This is alien theorists theorizing.
Who's hosting this thing?
I don't know. Well, I'm Braden.
I don't need anything to support my claims. I'm pretty much the Donald Trump of fucking podcasts right now.
I'm Zell. So, okay, this is the guy. Officer Ron Pond.
Dan.
It is fact. It did happen.
Start the podcast.
Is that go?
Yeah, start the podcast.
Case file 30. No.
Oh,
Alien theorists theorizing.
Oh my God! You had one job.
I mean,
try again.
what's the meaning of this? What podcast is this?
Where am I? Who are you people?
The guy misses one podcast, it goes to shit.
Case file 36. The hunt for the large feet.
Well put.
Bigfoot.
Well put. Great introduction. We thank you very much for coming back and joining us for that.
I'm Braden.
I'm Zell.
I'm Dan.
There.
I think by 40 we'll lock this down. I think by 40 we might.
I think we're getting close. We're getting close to our format here.
We get a little bit better.
Pretty good. I don't know if it has. It's felt like a really long hiatus for me. But I don't think in the terms of all of our hiatuses, I don't think this one's been as long as some of our others.
Well, yeah, it's average hiatus, I'd say. We tried to do it last week, but just we couldn't do it. I was out of town, and just the way she goes.
Yeah, everybody has stuff to do. Busy, man.
I wasn't busy. I was ready to go.
Yeah, Braden was ready to go. And Braden, are you drinking tonight? People miss your drunkenness.
Oh, well, they are going to be pleasantly disappointed. I am not nearly as drunk as a couple Fridays ago.
No, you're not meat draw drunk?
No, I'm sipping. I'm sipping. I'm sipping a La Agua.
Little agua.
No, I had a beer earlier, and I'll crack one. I'll crack one right now. So, drinking some Goose Island.
Oh, Goose Island IPA?
Yeah. Pretty good.
Can't go wrong. Yeah, it's pretty tasty. It's kind of expensive, but
got to treat yourself.
Nice. One of those fancy beers.
I wish I had more than 3 beers in Thailand.
You drinking? You're drinking Chang, Leo, or Singa right now?
That's pretty much all you got. I'll crack open a Chang in just a second. It's almost 1 o'clock.
Almost 1 o'clock for Dan. So, there we go. Yeah, it's nice to be back. I've been off. I've been kind of off the radar. I was up north for a little bit. Not a fucking. I was so far north. I was in the Yukon.
You didn't get one?
There was one day. There was 90% chance of auroras, and I was like, "Holy fuck! Here we go!" I was so excited. Overcast. Nothing. Fucking murdered me.
Mother Nature, you bitch.
But I did have lunch at this place called Sasquatch Crossing in Pink Mountain.
Pink Mountain.
Yeah, and then I asked. I was trying to find out if they had a good story or something.
No.
But all the Filipino women that worked there could not tell me.
Lame.
Disappointing.
But yeah, but they have a big a big wooden cutout of Sasquatch right outside. So that's why I stopped there. But other than that, no, it was an interesting trip. I went up to the furthest northwest community in British Columbia, which is Atlin. I think it's got 300 people that live there.
Atlin. Wow. You know what? Atlin has actually a pretty big music festival. Not big, but
in July, a pretty famous one. Yeah, and they only let 2,000 people into the town.
Yeah, so it's pretty popular, especially up there because there's nothing really else going on. So it's a big deal. Northern BC, Yukon area.
Why are you thinking about playing it?
No, it's too far. I'm not driving 25 hours to go play there.
I would say it is absolutely breathtaking. It's beautiful up there, but
I imagine the country is fucking awesome, but
Atlin, just Atlin. To get to Atlin, you have to drive through some of the biggest dumps I've ever been to in my life. Like, oh god.
Well, I'm not
Every
talking
single-
about cities. I'm talking about landscape. But yeah, I'm sure there's some dumps along the
No,
way.
I'm talking the whole landscape.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The whole landscape's
70
a dump.
Yeah, 75% of it on the way to Atlin is a dump.
That is a large percentage.
That's a lot of
like
land.
it's like nothing to look at, just a muskeg. Gross. You know, probably rich with fucking. You know what? If I didn't see a Bigfoot in Atlin, I'm really questioning the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm on the tip that you think they'd just be roaming around town up there.
I just feel
Fuck, I should have asked more people when I was up there.
Probably residents.
I feel like everyone up there would be a Bigfoot.
Yeah,
somewhere.
maybe shaved, trimmed Bigfoot.
Yeah, just a little. Anyways,
That's pop.
all right. Okay, what do you guys
Moving
want to
on.
talk? What do you guys want to talk about first? We want to talk about Vault 7 that just dropped this week in WikiLeaks.
Whoa!
What?
We got some. What? We just are we dropping some of my? What about our UFO case file of the week?
We can still do that. I was going to do it after Vault 7, but if you want to do it before, that's fine too.
Let's do it. Let's add all that stuff into space news/news.
Okay. Glad
First things first. UFO case file of the day, of the week,
of the week.
of the month, maybe.
Depending-
I don't know how long.
Depending on how many we do, it's that's how many you get.
UFO case file at the moment.
Sure.
I'm gonna throw it. You know, I'm gonna just take a pause here to mention, like, if only the people knew the amount of work that went into this show. It's mind blowing.
It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling.
Mind boggling is what it is. I'm gonna have a quick sip for that.
Yep, me too.
Okay, so I'm gonna put it in the randomatron. 5,000.
Randomatron.
We got a name for it
Yeah,
now.
he named it. There you go.
Randomatron.
You'll never,
I
you'll never see a picture of it. But
2000?
Also known as Vault 8.
Vault 8, right?
Oh.
Okay.
So here it's going in right now. Let me just hold on.
Yeah, dial it up.
Hold on. Sorry, it's lagging a little bit. Just gotta quickly type in some coordinates here. All right.
Damn.
And stop.
There you go.
All right. Emard Fred.
Ooh,
All right.
Mark.
Let's see how I can read not so drunk.
My friends call
In
me Mark.
April 1959, an Air Force C-118 transport plane taking off from McCord Air Force Base in Washington hit an object in flight. The pilot radioed back, "We have hit something, or something has hit us." And the pilot stated he would attempt to return to the Air Force Base. However, he failed, and the plane crashed, killing himself and his three-man crew. Chief of Police Fred Emard at Orting, Washington, confirmed UFO reports of glowing objects following the plane shortly before the incident, suggesting a relationship between the sighting and the eventual fate of the aircraft. Oh,
Interesting.
That's pretty neat. That's a good one.
interesting.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
well,
it was taken down by UFOs? Possibly?
That's
Possibly,
the chief of
or
police
mid-air
said,
collision.
he confirmed. He's like, yeah, people said they saw glowing lights in the area, and
Following
that
the plane.
could have been, and he confirmed it was following the plane.
Interesting.
So, weird.
But,
So
so-
yeah,
Damn.
but the plane crashed and they died.
they died.
Yeah.
But the pilot is on record saying we hit something or something hit us.
I assume that's what they said over the radio
Huh.
as they're going down.
Yeah.
Well,
Like hear that
fucking-
black box.
that is, yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding. What's the black box situation on that one? I wonder.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, that's
I don't think there's not a lot. I don't think there's a lot of like UFO related plane crashes. That's probably one of the few. That's really interesting. Huh.
Yeah, no, I've
Yeah,
never.
no,
What did they
That's
say?
cool.
How many did they see? They saw like 3. I mean, couldn't have been missiles or anything. You would detect a missile launch that close to a base.
Oh, for sure.
Huh.
weird.
That's nuts.
Like I closed the page too fast, and now I'll never find it because the randomatron just pulls it up at random.
Hence the name.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Just sorry, and I hate to do this but I'm pulling the randomatron out of the machine, and I'm gonna look up because it's in alphabetical order. I want to see if it says something on Bigfoot.
Okay.
Why not? Maybe it says, because it has some weird stuff in here. Birch, Fiat.
Bigfoot,
Yep.
Bigfoot, anything?
Big money.
Sasquatch? You under Sasquatch?
Crabs. What? This is a US. Why would it be in UFO case files?
I don't know, man. There's some weird things in here.
Hey, some people think Sasquatch is interdimensional or possibly an alien, so you never know.
Okay, well, hold on. QRS. Oh, man, there's pictures and everything in this book. I've never really looked at it. How do you spell Sasquatch? S-A... No, nothing.
Nah, no big deal. Huh. But you know what? That's the first UFO case file that hasn't been ridiculously funny or just absurdly terrible.
Yeah. No, that was just legit, like, interesting.
Kind of scary.
Yeah, it is a little scary. Kind of cool.
Well, that means space news
Boom.
and other news.
Just news.
Yeah.
In parentheses, other news.
Hold on. News. Well, fuck. I don't even know where to start, man.
Okay.
We
missed it. It was what, 2 weeks ago we were going to record. We didn't record. We missed. Well, we didn't miss it. We know about it, but we didn't say
get to ride the wave.
TRAPPIST-1 star system found by the Kepler Space Telescope is, by all accounts, the closest or the most favorable system we've found to harbor life because it has so many planets in the Goldilocks zone, so they say. Which is pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, and it's nuts because at first they, like, back in, like, when they first discovered, like, TRAPPIST-1, they thought there was only 3. They thought there were only 3 Earth-sized planets orbiting. But then when they got the Kepler up and running and they found out further analysis, it's like there's 7, which is nuts. Because that means that possibly, like, other stars could have more. It could be that Earth-sized planets are more common than we previously thought.
Oh, if this one star system has 7 that are like Earth-sized to Mars-sized, there's a couple that are a little bit bigger than Earth, but like relatively pretty much the same. If they have 7, I mean, like, what are the possibilities that other ones have like 9? Or like every system has at least a few Earth-size in the Goldilocks zone. And like it has to be, I think.
Yeah, because before the big thing was it's like, oh, it's so hard. Earth is so rare. It's in this perfect zone.
Right.
Like, it's rare. And now we essentially, and honestly, you have to look at it like this. We essentially just shot a dart of a line of sight into the fucking vast sea of the galaxy, and we found one with 7.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's literally you're throwing a dart into the fucking darkness. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like we're like, oh, you're fucking. We looked everywhere and we finally found one. It's like, no, we randomly looked somewhere and we found one.
Yeah, like, okay, we're gonna look at this star for a while.
It didn't take that long. Like, relatively, it didn't take that long to find other planets like Earth or within, same size, similar to Earth.
And then if you even go further than that, like, if you think about the grand scheme of human existence, like, it hasn't taken us that long at all to get the technology to then find these planets. Like, it's.
Nope.
No, I think it was when did the Kepler Space Telescope even start? Like 10 or 15 years ago? Like, not that long ago, I don't think.
The first exoplanet we found was in 2007, I think.
Right. So 10 years ago, and all of a sudden now we found thousands of planets, and now we're finding this system where there's 7 planets Earth-size. Was it 3 or 4 of them are in the Goldilocks zone, in the habitable
there's
zone?
7 of them. Yeah, there's 7 Earth-size-ish planets, and 3 of them look pretty nice. Like, they look like they could probably support either water or atmosphere.
Yeah. Do you guys want to go through the planets and just do a quick recap of what they are?
Yeah.
So you got TRAPPIST B to H. Like, TRAPPIST A is the sun. They always reserve the A for the sun. So you got TRAPPIST B, which is 0.85 mass of the Earth. So it's almost the same size.
Wait, will I be able to dunk on that planet, or am I going to have a harder time dunking?
Easier dunking because you're
easier dunking.
Yeah, easier dunking,
right.
No problem. You'll probably alley-oop on that planet. Like,
all right, sweet.
you're gonna be able to jump 15% higher, pretty much. So you'll be able to get the rim.
White man will be able to jump on that planet.
Some NBA Jam, and NBA Jam, he's on fire.
He's on fire.
Boom shaka, boom shakalaka.
Perfect.
It's awesome.
That's my vote.
Yeah. Okay. One weird thing about all these planets is they orbit their sun so fucking fast. It's crazy. Like TRAPPIST B is 1.51 days orbital period.
Holy fuck!
Like,
So
How big's their sun compared to our sun?
oh, I think it's just like a, what'd they say? It's a, I don't have that fact in front of me, but it's like a really dim sun. A really, really dim sun. So I guess that's why all these I almost sound like dim sum, like the food. But
The famous Korean dish.
yes, exactly. Actually, does anyone have that stat in front of them? How big's that sun?
They call it. What is it? They call it TRAPPIST-1. It's an ultra cool dwarf star. Let's see, about 39 light years from Earth, and I'm not sure on the exact mass of the star.
Because that would be interesting. Because I'm like, is it tinier than the sun, like way tinier, or is it like way bigger? It's like, because that would be a more impressive feat if it's bigger and they're going around in 5 days.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
It's just the fact going around like 1.5 days is already a year for for them. It's nuts.
Yeah,
But it's pretty close. TRAPPIST-1b is like still pretty close to the star. I think it's probably just like bordering.
It's gonna be hot.
yeah, they're all really close, but the sun itself is ultra cool. So like it's not like, because I think TRAPPIST-1, all these planets are in the same orbital distance from. So we got, okay, what is it? TRAPPIST B 0.011 AU, so astronomical units, which is 1 astronomical unit is the distance from our sun to Earth. So if you think about it, that's like what? Like fucking 1% of the distance. So it's
Pretty
like,
close.
It's like it's probably it's closer to Mercury to the sun than
Right. But their sun is also cooler than ours.
super
and
cool.
smaller.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, okay, let's go through them. TRAPPIST, we said TRAPPIST B, TRAPPIST C. It's 1.38 mass of Earth, so it's a little more massive than Earth, but it still only orbits in 2.42 days.
Fuck.
And it's barely any farther away. It's only 0.015 AU. So if you think about it, if you're on TRAPPIST B, and at nighttime you look over, you could see TRAPPIST C in the sky like the moon, pretty much, if it's in the right spot in the orbit.
another thing that's crazy about all the planets is that each one of their days is synced with their stellar orbit, the time they go around the sun. So each planet pretty much has like a night side and a day side. They don't rotate.
Oh,
like Earth.
It doesn't spin like Earth.
They're fucking solar locked.
Yeah, like they're just night. You have night side and start side, whatever you want to call it.
Man,
But they still say, like, you thought it might be too hot to survive on day side, but because the star's so cool, they said it would be fine.
how fucking dope would it be to own a house that's right on the border, and you're like, you wake up, you're like, okay, I'm going out to the old day side of the house. Like, I'm tired.
Sun goes up, sun goes down. Sun goes up, sun goes
just turning
down.
around like down, up, down, up, down, up. Like, it'd be fucking crazy. Oh, that'd be awesome. That's where I want to live.
Yeah, that would.
I changed my mind. I want to go to C.
You want to go to C? Well,
I'm feeling. Wait, what's the dunkability in C again?
harder to dunk. You're not going to be able to dunk on that one.
Fuck.
You're going to be struggling to stand up probably on 1.38 massive Earth.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, but my squat game, man. I'm going to have some fucking wicked ass thighs living on C. Be strutting around in short shorts.
Okay, hey, if you want to dunk hard, we go to TRAPPIST D. 0.41 massive Earth, so it's a tiny little planet.
Space Jam right there.
Oh, so you're jumping twice as high, so you're fucking dunking hard here. You are going NBA Jam. You're on fire.
So I can jump. Realistically, I'm going to undercut myself a little bit. I can probably jump 3 feet.
Yeah,
So I can jump
maybe. You
like
might get
9
3.
feet.
Possibly. Okay. One thing I forgot to say is TRAPPIST B and C are pretty much the same size of Earth, they're just less massive. So like the radius is 1.09 radius of Earth, so it's a little bit bigger, and the other one's 1.06. But TRAPPIST D is 0.77, so it's much smaller and much less massive, so barely any gravity on there. But I think is it D, E, F that are in the habitable zone? So they say?
Yeah.
Yeah, so D,
That's
E,
right.
and F, they're
Those
all
three are
really
the big
close,
ones.
really close together in the habitable zone. If you move on to E, it's about the same size as Earth, 0.92 radius, but way less massive. It's more like Mars, pretty much, that one. But they're all so close. Like you could see from one planet to the other, you could see the next planet like it was a moon if it in the night sky if it was up there. That's how close they are, which is pretty cool.
Are they all rotating the same way around the sun, I wonder?
Good question. I don't know that. Look it up. Hashtag look it up.
Hashtag look it up. I bet Mr. Conspiracy.
I'm pretty sure because I think the 3 like D, E, and F they thought was one planet at first when they first discovered TRAPPIST-1, or they first started having analyzing the light from that star and figuring out there were planets. They thought there were only 3, and they thought like these 3 were one planet because they're so close in size, and I think their orbit is. Just
they
about the
rotate
same.
together, so they'd be in your sky at all times. That'd be so dope.
Yeah, it'd be fucking really cool.
I'm down with.
Maybe we'll get there one day.
Probably
It's
not.
only 39 light years away. That's not too far.
You put a little. You put yourself in fucking some type of cryo state where you just sleep for 100 years and send the ship down there. Yeah, maybe.
Boom, you're together.
Okay, let's move on. TRAPPIST F. It's about the exact same size as Earth, 1.04, but still like 0.68 mass. So it's like it's more massive than Mars, but you're still dunking hard. And then
That's pretty sweet.
and then you move on to you got TRAPPIST G. I think this is now out of the habitable zone. They say it is a little bit bigger than Earth, but quite a bit more massive. But man, all these planets are like so similar in size, though. Like they don't vary very much. And then you get to TRAPPIST H, and they don't really know the mass. I guess they can't really tell if it's too small. And yeah, it's 75% the size of Earth. So it's pretty cool, man. Having like they can tell that by how much the planet dims the sun as it goes around it.
Yeah, it's astronomy's fucking cool.
Fucking science.
Fucking science. Well, it's fake. Space is fake.
There's no space is a hoax.
There's no space. Big ice wall up there.
Simulation. Yep.
Oh god. Brutal.
Fucking Truman Show.
We've had a lot of people want to get the flat earthers back on for round 2, but I don't know if we can do that.
Oh, dude. No
Good luck
way.
finding them.
Yeah, I think that the way with how sketchy they are, I don't even know if they've made it across Canada yet. To be honest, hitchhiking.
Were they hitchhiking across Canada, or were they driving?
Yeah, spreading truth, hitchhiking, one thumb at a time.
Spreading the truth.
Cult.
So we're talking about fucking TRAPPIST-1 and other planets, and we're saying that it's crazy that no more like the thinking of Earth is so rare in its habitable zone. That's out the window. We found one with 7. So now if we can find proof of life on the planet next door, then life's not rare, and then like there's more life anyways. On that note,
yeah,
Congress just passed an act requiring NASA to get humans to the red planet by no later than 2033.
I think yeah, that's so
shit.
fucking cool, but I think SpaceX is going before then.
Well,
But
good on them. Whatever.
People are going, which is fucking sweet. People are going back
Yeah,
to
they're saying we can grow potatoes up there. They're saying we could be able to grow potatoes on Mars.
I heard. Yeah, Matt Damon say that.
No, it was there's a study they did. They said they could possibly grow potatoes on
That's all you
Mars.
need to live. You can make
Yeah.
booze from potatoes.
They're
You can
amazing.
make French fries.
They're delicious and they're starchy goodness.
Yeah. So no, that's some more space news that I thought was really cool. So if SpaceX or all those other companies fall through, at least NASA's government-funded space agency is going to be a little slower.
No one's going to believe NASA, so someone else has got to go first. Someone else has got to do it.
The only other space news I have, and speaking of SpaceX, this is all flowing together nicely. SpaceX are sending humans to the moon. They're doing a private space flight, and they're sending two private citizens
around the moon.
Around the moon. Well, there's still to the moon around it.
Yeah, that's going to be. That's next year, I think, 2018.
Yeah.
2018, yeah.
So you got this year. You got the Google X team sending up rovers up there.
Yeah,
private companies. Then you're probably going to have China go to the moon. You're probably going to have SpaceX are going to fly around the moon. Like, people are going back. So like the moon landing hoax, if it was a hoax or not a hoax, people are going back there. So we're going to get some new HD pictures. So that's going to be pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah. I'm beyond excited.
Yeah,
it's going to be cool, interesting years for space travel. It's really starting to pick up.
Yeah, it's like a new space race, pretty much. Now
because everybody's trying to get off the planet right now.
Yeah, everyone's a fucking hole.
Someone knows something we don't.
Get out of this place.
Yeah. Or fucking Trump.
Start buying your shares of TRAPPIST-1 property.
Oh yeah. Fuck, my cat just fucking burst in.
Interstellar Manifest Destiny.
Okay, let's move on.
That's all I got. That's all I got for space news.
Yeah, that was the big space news I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Go look it up. Go look more about it. It's fucking really cool. If you're into space, you like planets and astronomy, go look it up because it's pretty sweet.
If you like news,
just news in general.
Yes, or if you like news.
Okay, one more piece of news we got to start before we talk about Bigfoot is the Vault 7 leak. The CIA Vault 7 leak, which is pretty much saying that the CIA can access pretty much any Windows, Apple, or Samsung device that has a camera or microphone. They can bypass the encryption and observe you or listen to you, even if your phone is offline. They put it on like a standby mode and you can't tell if it's even on. And I guess this leak is pretty much saying that they can fucking do that among other things, which is fucking crazy. It's expected almost, but.
And this is stupid, and I hate to say it because Mr. Conspiracy said this.
Oh, he did.
Fucking months. I think a year ago, he was talking some kooky shit about if you pull your Xbox apart, there's fucking cameras in there, man, that aren't supposed to be there. You can do it yourself, and we were like, "You're fucking crazy."
No, you know what?
He's like, "Oh,
that part's bullshit. Like, they're not installing extra cameras. They can just use your camera and your microphone. They can just turn that on without you knowing and listen or talk or spy on you. Pretty much.
He was right on track. He was right on track.
He was the closest he's ever been to being right, pretty much.
I think he doesn't listen. Good thing he doesn't listen, so he'll never know if he was right about that.
Yeah.
So he won't say fucking anything.
He'll probably come on in a few weeks, but you guys hear about Vault 7? Told you I was right.
Yeah, probably. He probably won't. He'll probably come back on and start telling us that there's cameras in our phones or something.
Yeah.
There's cameras. Do you know there's cameras in your phones?
If you take your phone apart, there's extra cameras.
There's extra cameras in there. No one knows what they do.
Yeah. So this like CIA leak is pretty much like, if you look back at the Snowden stuff from like 4 or 5 years ago now, whatever it was, he said like the NSA could like, we've talked about it before, and when we talked about it, I didn't really know that much about it, but we talked about the tethered AI, he pretty much said that the NSA can pretty much type in a keyword, and anyone talking about assassinating the president or doing any of this stuff, they can like cue in to who's doing it without them knowing, pretty much, like just remote, like incognito spying. So that happened.
It's exactly like the fucking tethered AI we were talking about.
Exactly like the tethered AI. Like, you just put in keywords, and if you're saying some shit about aliens or conspiracy of any kind, they can cue in, and then maybe they send in the Men in Black and fucking take care of you. Who knows? But also in these Vault 7 leaks, it's saying that they had the ability to do a couple different things. They could pretty much use another country's IP, pretty much make it look like another country was hacking you. Say like these Russian hacks they keep claiming, right? They could easily make it look like Russia was doing it. It's pretty much what's coming out of the leaks. And they could also So anything connected to the internet, they can pretty much take control of. So they're saying it could be used to carry out undetectable assassinations using vehicles and other stuff like that. Like if you're driving down the road and all of a sudden your car just is taken over and just crashed into a fucking giant tree and you die, I guess they're saying that is possible because there was a guy, Michael Hastings, assassinated by CIA remote car hack is the headline. Like everyone's saying like, oh, maybe this happened because he, in 2013, I think it was, he wrote a publication called Why Democrats Love to Spy on Americans. And the conspiracy is that he was killed by either the CIA or whoever's controlling this hack. And that's not just like, not a conspiracy out of nowhere. He actually was borrowing his neighbor's car at the time and stuff. Because he said, like, I don't trust my vehicle, pretty much. He was like, I think the FBI or CIA is like spying on me or like keeping tabs on me. And then he died. So
it's even crazier than that, because on the day of the crash, he went to his neighbor's door after midnight, urgently being like, I need to borrow your Volvo. I'm afraid to drive my own car.
Right? That's so fucking crazy.
And he said that to his neighbor, and his neighbor's like, you're fucking crazy.
This is why you should always drive a manual.
Yeah.
He left and died in his car.
Yeah, he was driving down the road. There was no other vehicle in an accident. They don't suspect that he was under the influence of drugs or alcohol, and he just went off the road and crashed into a tree and died.
The car's engine was ejected from the vehicle 60 yards. The engine. And he was burnt beyond recognition.
That's just fucking weird.
His bosses say that all he had said was he was on to a big story and he needed to go off the radar, and that the FBI might interview him. Hastings called one of its lawyers, one of the WikiLeaks lawyers, a few hours before the crash and told her that he was preparing a new report on the CIA, and it was a profile on the CIA director, John O'Brennan.
Man, that's fucking crazy.
He fucking told his neighbor. After midnight, went there and said, urgently, I need to borrow a Volvo. I'm afraid to drive my car.
Yeah, I mean, coincidence? Man. It's just so... I'm not even surprised, like, this is happening. Like, for 4 or 5 years now, people have known about the surveillance state, like, the Orwellian, like, 1984, like, exact Big Brother kind of style. And now
everybody saw the Enemy of the State Will Smith movie, which is a good movie.
Yeah,
and
great
it's like,
movie.
That's exactly what was... It's where we're headed, and it's where we are now, and we're probably even beyond that now. We have automatic driving cars. Jesus.
Like if
driving stick.
And this is just the first leak from WikiLeaks of Vault 7. There's going to be like 6 or 7 more or something. So like,
yeah, this was like 8,500 pages or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but yeah, thousands of leaked documents from the CIA, like pretty much proving this stuff. And like WikiLeaks is not wrong.
Over 8,000, yeah, over 8,000 pages in all. Just this one, this one.
WikiLeaks is like, they've gone to court, they've been sued and stuff before, and every time they come out on top, like, this is real stuff. Like, someone leaked this stuff. They're saying it was a CIA contractor. Just like an Ed Snowden type of guy who's like, listen, this is not right. I'm fucking letting people know, and I'm leaking it, pretty much, is what happened. And like, on all the mainstream news, there's like, they mention it, they're like, oh, it turns out the CIA may be hacking your computer. But it's nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. They're only doing it to terrorists and foreign enemies. But like, no, they have the capability to do it to anyone in the world, in any country, if they choose to, pretty much, is what it is.
You know what? Basically what it is they're not just doing it to terrorists. They'll only use it to, like, secretly get, but like, if they have the ability to do it to everyone, they're going to do it to fucking everyone.
Yeah. And it's not only like they have the ability to do stuff. I mean, one of the other leaks or whatever is that they said the CIA was like hoarding exploits that it found. So they were like they were retaining information about bugs and things from in software, consumer electronics from Apple, Google, and Microsoft. So the CIA would find vulnerabilities in these devices or their operating systems, and they wouldn't tell the companies so they could use it. So the CIA could use it.
Yeah, I fucking believe it.
What? Hey Dan, what's the difference between the FBI and the CIA?
CIA technically is not, or is that the Secret Service? No, CIA, I believe, is not allowed to operate on American soil. FBI is like the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They're like, the FBI takes care of stuff across state borders. Like if you have certain crimes are like federal jurisdiction, so they're kind of run by the federal government as opposed to state police and stuff like that.
You say the CIA can't operate on in America?
Yeah, CIA or I don't know if I don't think they're different from the Secret Service. I'm pretty sure it's CIA or NSA. I'm pretty sure it's CIA. Can't operate on American soil. They're not supposed to. They're supposed to be doing like outside stuff. They deal with like international.
They're like foreign affairs
things.
Type of guys, right? And the FBI is like your top crime investigators, pretty much.
Yeah.
They investigate all like tax fraud and like murders across states.
Yeah,
and like,
anything
all that kind
against anything against like government or that involves like 2 or more states or stuff like that. Like,
yeah, but it's pretty much sounding like the CIA has gone rogue in a way.
No.
Or maybe not rogue, but like it's part of the deep state, like the shadow government. Like they're doing something behind everyone's backs. And now that there's a leak, now they're trying to find that whistleblower. They're probably going to try and put him in jail for life. So he's probably.
And I could see this all started out as like, this is how we're going to keep the nation safe. You type in these things and maybe like 1 out of 8 times they found like a terrorist by this way, and they just keep it quiet so that people don't want people knowing they have the technology to do this.
It's probably like
so these people just like disappear.
It's probably like 1 out of a million. Like it's probably like such a small portion. Like no one deserves to be like eavesdropped on, but they can, so they do pretty much.
Yeah. And they can't but then it's like, I mean, playing devil's advocate, it's like they can't really if they do have a major success, like they nail some terrorist and who's gonna like blow up, the Capitol building or something like that. They can't tell anybody because it's like, well, we're using all this technology that we're not supposed to be using and doing things we're not supposed to be doing.
That we don't really have,
and we can't. We don't want anybody knowing because we don't want our enemies abroad knowing our abilities, and also we're violating the basic rights of Americans.
You know what the crazy thing is about this CIA, this Vault 7 shit is, this hacking material can be obtained by anyone now. Like people, so say there is a terrorist group. No, I'm not saying ISIS or anything, but there's like a fucking anonymous group, but they're militant almost. They're trying to like take down. This is gonna be the future of warfare. It's not gonna be fought with guns and fucking planes and shit. They're gonna like take down like country central banks, collapse their economy,
infrastructure.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. That's pretty much where we're going. It's fucking insane.
You could shut down cities, all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, like all the power grids, right? All the power grids, all your information grids.
Imagine like hacking the controls for like the floodgates on dams, or just like opening all those up and just being like, boom, you could flood a whole entire town. That's some James Bond shit.
Fucking Die Hard 5.
Yeah.
So man, hopefully because of this leak, like all the technology companies now will like retrofit their systems to fight against it, but like I don't even know if that's even possible.
They
right?
definitely got a lot of work ahead of them. Probably it's just like to fix this stuff, and it's kind of crazy.
It's crazy. That
I know if the CIA, if this is leaked and this has happened, I'm sure the CIA is fucking 6 steps ahead of what we're finding out.
Oh, guaranteed. They probably already retrofit their system, so now it's undetectable, even if they try and fix what they've already done, kind of thing.
Yeah, like they're probably sitting around the water cooler being like, oh, did you hear they fucking found out about Vault 7? They're like, Vault 7? Oh, yeah, fuck, 2013, good times.
Yeah.
I remember that. Oh, yeah, good old Vault 7.
Okay, well, we can go on news forever, but the topic at hand is Bigfoot. Or, as we've now dubbed him, El Nasty.
El Nasty. El Nasty is the Russian one.
The Russian.
Well, he's also A Nasty, the Canadian one.
A Nasty is Canadian.
A Nasty.
The elusive Bigfoot. I so badly lost my train of thought.
Bigfoot.
Is he out there? We don't know. Hashtag look it up.
Hashtag look it up. Case closed. We're done.
Podcast is over. Podcast is over. We're done.
No, Bigfoot. Like, he's
Bigfoot. North America's giant ape man, reclusive to forests in the Northwest and from all the way from Florida to British Columbia.
Yeah, it's like in a fucking angle. Follow the Rockies. Fucking Bigfoot territory.
I know at least Bigfoot sightings have been cited in like all of the contiguous 48 states, pretty much. I know that.
Like they're in North America, but they're also all around the world. They just call them different names.
Yeah, all over the world they've had, since history immemorial, you've had stories of giant men, ape-like men, these creatures that live in the forest that are, but usually they all have things in common. They're all bipedal. They all resemble hominids, somewhat humans, human-like when they walk around. Usually 6 to 10 foot tall. That's it. Everybody already knows our favorite one, the El Nasty.
Fucking El Nasty.
It's Russia. That's what they call it in Russia.
El Nasty fucking found a way into my heart. Like, that's the fucking best name.
Southeast Asia, they have the orang pendek. China is the Yeren. In the United States, we have our regional ones. We have Bigfoot or Sasquatch, mostly Pacific Northwest, and we also down south around Florida, Louisiana areas, they call them the skunk ape.
Ohio, the grass man.
And Pennsylvania and Michigan, also one of my favorites ones. And I have a story about this one. Some people call them boogers.
Boogers?
What?
Yeah. And I'm not joking. I have a story. I have a personal story about this, right? I mean, I've been interested in Bigfoot and all this kind of stuff since I was really young. And I remember asking my aunt and uncle, or like my grandmother when I was really young, about Bigfoot. And they said, well, that sounds a lot like, they don't believe in that kind of stuff. They're all pretty concrete people, but and they say, wow, that sounds a lot like boogers. Boogers, I thought those are things you just pull out of your nose, right?
Yeah.
And but no, like I kind of had forgotten about it, and then I was listening to another podcast a couple weeks ago, and a Bigfoot researcher came on, and the guy mentioned, he's like, yeah, they call them boogers. And I'm like, holy shit, that shit's real. Like, I thought that maybe just they were making it up, but I was like, no, boogers. Yeah, it's like a real name.
Interesting name.
Been around for a while.
Yowie in Australia.
Oh yeah.
Yowie?
Yowie.
Yowie.
Mm-hmm. Just got to go pick up. Hold on. You want to hear my Byron impression?
Yeah.
Good eye, mate. Got to go pick me up some Rise Up lights.
Razor blades?
Some Rise Up lights.
Oh, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Spot on.
Not bad.
Just an embarrassment to
Byron.
Embarrassment to the Australians, but they'll forgive you probably.
Wendigo. No, Wendigo.
Wendigo. That's like a fucking paranormal type of beast.
Yeah, that's a Native American legend.
Yeah.
Kind of linked to cannibalism and things like that. But no, they resemble. Some people say the descriptions resemble a Bigfoot.
Makes sense.
Orang pendek.
Yeah, I got that one.
Said that one.
Yeah.
Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia, like Indonesia, Malaysia thing.
So yeah, they got them. They got them all over the world.
If I see another funny one, I'll say it. But no more funny ones.
So there's stories from all over the world. Either it's all just fucking lore and people just are seeing things or mistaken identity, or there's some type of not like undiscovered ape or pre-human or some type of hominid of some kind that has gone undetected for all these years. So I don't know, what is it?
Well, I always think that, man, the more we see like these reality TV shows, and the more I'm convinced they're just these weird fucking people out there. And it's like sometimes you get these ones like mountain men, and it's like maybe they're just like a bunch of like creepy old dudes living out in the forest, dressing up like Bigfoot and trying to scare people off like Scooby-Doo style. Yeah, get off of my land, and they just
get out of my swamp.
Yeah, sometimes I think that, but I'm a Bigfoot believer. I mean, there could be something out there. Like, I want to believe. I want to say there's something out there.
People always say, like, they're like, oh, well, I was reading today, like reading what some of our fans had said, and some people are like, well, why don't people ever find Bigfoot shit? But it's like, okay, one, like big cats, like cougars and stuff, they bury their shit. Like, how often do you see fucking cougar shit? And how often do you just go and you're walking in shit and you're just like, hey, like, there's a pile of shit. Let me think about, like, I wonder what kind of shit that could be. Like you don't. Like, if I'm walking to the woods hunting, I'm like, oh, there's poo. Like, oh, maybe that's bear. That might be bear. But who fucking knows? If big feet are fucking eating the same shit as bears, like, who are we to say that they're gonna have different? Like, they might have the same looking shit.
Yeah, if they're like similar weight and size as of a big bear, yeah, like their shit maybe.
I've walked through the woods and gone, holy, that looks like human shit.
Yeah. And I mean, if they're hominids,
I don't know.
If they're hominids, like, they poop, like, they probably poop, like, not like, they don't just like poop while they're walking around. Like, they go find a little spot. Yeah, but they find like a spot and then they sit down and they do it. They're not like, like a moose or like anything like that, where it's just like they just poop as they walk, like whatever.
Yeah, just fucking spray in the forest. Fucking moose.
So, it could be out there. So, the shit isn't the say-all.
No, and that like, people are saying that, like, oh, why is there no shit? We can't find the shit. And it's like, the shit is the least important part, in my opinion. Like, there's fucking sightings. People see them. Like I said, I challenge someone.
I mean, I won't say that there is not a lack of evidence. Like, I mean, yes, there's a lack of concrete evidence. There's no bodies. We never find any bodies.
Never bodies. No.
That we know of.
You know what? I've never come across a dead predator.
Yeah.
Like laying naturally dead ever in the woods.
No, and we don't go in the woods that often, right?
Yeah.
But okay, the theory is, if Bigfoot is like a hominid or a pre-human or an ape, if they were to live in these fucking vast regions of wilderness that humans don't go to, because so let's face it, people live in the easiest places to live on the planet. They live in like lightly wooded areas where they plow all the trees. If they live in the jungle, they chop down the jungle and they build their huts. Or they live on the prairies or like on the outskirts of forests. They don't live in like the deep, dark, like heart of the forest or the jungle, or they don't live in like the highlands of the mountains. And there's so much fucking terrain, like just it's unfathomable how much terrain's out there that's people have never even stepped foot in it. Like, you just can't get there. You just would never go there. So the theory goes, if there is an undiscovered species of hominid, let's say it's like a Neanderthal type of person, or even before that, even like pre-humans, they're going to be fairly intelligent, and they're going to be in their environment, and like, you're never going to find them. Like, you're never going to find them. Go for it. What do you got?
I 100% believe that there's fucking ape men out there. And the reason I believe that, because there's fucking humans on Earth that don't know that there's other humans on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
You get these tribes in Brazil, they just found one like a couple years ago.
And they're like, holy shit, the gods are coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like we cannot.
They're stuck 1,000 years ago. You know what's the cruelest fucking joke of it all? We don't go and be like, hey, joke's over, guys. Fucking 2017.
Get with it.
Here's an iPhone.
Like, these are other fucking human beings, and we just, like, to me, that you're like, oh, we need to preserve their fucking way of life. I'm like, they're fucking trapped in the past. Like, that's crazy. It's craziness.
Yeah. So you could potentially have this like a tribe or something of Bigfoot living out in the woods and never had contact with humans, or what contact they do have is very, very limited. They've grown up avoiding humans, so it's just like they're just really good at it.
Yeah. I was on the Alaskan highway, and honestly, some parts of those really remote areas I was at, when we stopped on the side of the road to go to the bathroom and stuff, like, you looked into the forest, and that forest was so thick with so much brush, like, and just insane that, like, I was like, fuck, man, you get so lost in there. So lost. And this is 10 feet off the side of the road. Like, I couldn't imagine what it's like in like 20 minutes into the bush, even trying to walk. And, like, when people say, oh, you don't see them and stuff, it's like, well, you know what? You don't always see fucking big cats and other animals that lurk in the woods, right? Like, deer can sit and hide almost in plain sight. They're so well camouflaged sometimes.
Yeah, and you've seen like how the rate of decay in some of the places where you would normally see, like if you were to try to find a body in a swamp in Florida or Louisiana, chock full of alligators,
gone.
And, whatever bacteria and stuff, that thing's gone. It's like 2 weeks. It's like there's nothing left. You wouldn't find it.
Okay, let's start with this. Braden, if Bigfoot is real, if El Nasty is real, what do you think it would be? Is it a human, a pre-human, an ape, or is it? Or what do you think?
Fuck. I have some hairy friends, man. So
yes.
I know a couple of guys that could fucking step in for Bigfoot 7 days a week. I don't know. I like to think. It's tough because I'm torn between two. Part of me likes to think like the tribe idea that maybe they're not even dumb apes. Maybe they are just a tribe of like fucking pre-ice age Neanderthal things that have just adapted to live in these deep, dark areas, right? And like every now and then we catch a glimpse of one coming out too far.
Yeah, makes
right, and like
it makes sense.
And there's not many of them left, right? Maybe there's couple hundred in North America, but they're in isolated spots, really tight together. But the other one I fucking love, and Mr. Conspiracy in me loves this one, is that they're just fucking interdimensional beings.
Yeah, that is one of the theories. I don't know how we get to interdimensional Bigfoot, but
just fucking interdimensional Wookiees. Just fucking.
That's a rough one, man. I mean, I already, I approached the idea of Bigfoot with some skepticism, but like when the people start talking interdimensional, like I can't keep up with that. That's too far gone for me.
Well, I think the theory of interdimensional Bigfoot and stuff comes from like, if you go look it up, there is some like accounts of people following Bigfoot tracks. And they're following for like miles and miles, and all of a sudden the tracks just disappear, like in the snow, like they just vanish into thin air.
And I know, and I know there's lots of reports where they're Bigfoot accompanied with like glowing lights, things like that, and people have said they've shot at these things and they didn't even phase them. People have shot them with high-powered rifles. Seems like the bullets just went through or even bounced off, and these creatures just walk away and just disappear. So there's that.
Dan, what do you think? What's your theory? What's your leading theory on Bigfoot?
I mean, I gotta ground myself in biology, and I'd be like, it's some sort of evolutionary offshoot, something like that. I can't put stock in the interdimensional thing. I'm not a big fourth dimension person. Say that right now, but like I want to say it's some sort of like lost tribe of people just wandering around, and they've just been, running around. I want to say that I wouldn't say they're like close enough to humans. They have to be some sort of like, not like Gigantopithecus or maybe something like that, because you never really find it. You never find the evidence they do find for intelligence of these creatures is like they have like a branch, like sometimes they find like nests.
Knocking.
The wood knocking, the nests. Sometimes they find like branches like shaped into beds, much like gorillas do, or something like that. But you never find like tools that I know of. All the reports I've read, there's never any tools. So I would say it was just some sort of like, some sort of ape, closer to like ape than man, maybe.
Right. Okay. I got something here. It's it's long. I'm gonna try and condense it as best I can. We'll come back and forth to it. But have you ever heard of this guy called Lloyd Pye?
Lloyd Pye. No.
That's a delicious last name.
Yeah.
Makes me hungry.
No, but like, you ever heard of the Star Child skull?
Yes.
This guy's like the man. He's the guy on the Star Child skull. But he also goes deep into like Bigfoot and like creatures like this. And here's his theory. They pretty much know that upright humans, or upright like hominoid type of like human looking things, started about 3.5 to 4 million years ago. That's what they can deduce from their carbon dating of like they found like footprints in volcanic ash. And I guess if you're going to go with the carbon dating, volcanic ash is the most reliable source of dating because it is straight carbon pretty much.
Yep.
So someone like if a volcano explodes and then someone walks through that ash and then more ash falls on top of that ash and then it rains, like you have a perfectly preserved footprint. So that's where they say like it's a miracle discovery that they found some of these. But they pretty much can like say that 3.5 to 4 million years ago there was upright walking humans. So what this guy says, Lloyd Pye, is... Okay, we're going to go into a little evolution here. So you have the theory of evolution is like you just... Like humans or like hominoids slowly evolved from ape-like creatures to like Homo like erectus and Neanderthal, right? Like those type of early humans. And then all of a sudden you had Homo sapiens just like that, right? So this guy, he goes into detail. Like if you take the bones and the skeletal structure of like, let's say even Neanderthal, and then you compare it to an ape, like a chimpanzee or a gorilla, their bone structure is very, very similar. They have like a very triangle-shaped lung cage and very thick bones and like all this shit. And then all of a sudden you have Homo sapiens. Like he goes into like the Anunnaki theory of also like humans were engineered. But we're not going to go there right now. We're just going to say that Homo sapiens and our closest relatives that we found, like Neanderthals and Homo erectus and all those, and Florensis and all these fucking guys.
Right.
They pretty much existed around the same time. Like they pretty much know like Homo sapiens like 120,000 years ago is when they say. But at the same time there was Homo erectus and Neanderthal and like a few other humans at the same time. And they're like they can't really there's missing holes in what do you call the study of like civilizations, anthropology?
Yes.
They're like all of a sudden the humans came. And then all of a sudden the Neanderthals were gone. And like all the Erectus were gone. They just disappeared. But what this guy's saying is, okay, we'll take away like the divine intervention, let's say, of creating humans. Homo sapiens came into being. They existed at the same time for like tens of thousands of years with Neanderthal. He's saying that Homo sapiens were so smart that they eventually like were starting killing all the Neanderthals and all these other things. So they left the prime habitats like the savannas and the light forests and all that shit we were talking about.
Right.
And his theory is that these fucking guys went into the woods and like deep dark places because they were they look like apes, right? They're strong and they have like thicker skin, bigger bones, they're much stronger. They're pretty much saying like Homo sapiens pushed these guys out of the main habitats that we know. And the whole time these fucking guys they never died off. They've just been in such deep dark places in the jungles and forests where that we just never like interact with them. And that's where his theory comes in, that these guys it's actually some type of like pre-human, either like maybe not Neanderthal, but like maybe even
it's like an offshoot. It's like something else.
Like an offshoot. Right? So like whatever made Homo sapiens come into being, like we haven't found the missing link yet, like that missing few skeletons to make the jump.
Right.
But he's just saying like if that's the case, there could very well be like a type of pre-human or other type of hominoid that just evolved separately from humanity, pretty much. Is what he's saying. That's the base. That's the gist of it. Go look him up. Go look him up. Lloyd Pye. He's got some great speeches. You should go check him out.
And yeah, like I said, I'm like I would think it would be something. I don't know if I would say it was like in the hominid family, like Neanderthal or Erectus or even the Denisovans, the other ones that they found in Russia. because like I said, they don't make tools. I mean, we have evidence of Neanderthals know how to make fire. They knew how to make fire. They had burial ceremonies. They had some sort of religion, and they made tools. But we've never found any of those tools or anything off the Bigfoot. So I would think they would be closer to apes than man. That's what I think.
Yep, like
makes sense.
I think that makes more sense for me also. Like, if it is some type of offshoot of, the big ape was, what did we say, Gigantopithecus? It was like an 8 to 10 foot ape that existed like fucking whoever knows how long ago.
Like Central Asia, like India, Central Asia, that area, yeah.
But like
we did coexist with them. They did coexist with Homo sapien for a couple.
So they weren't. So they're not super old then.
No, not super old. We did coexist with them for like a couple hundred, maybe like a couple tens of thousand years, something like that. They were within the range. We could have, our ancestors could have seen them.
Yeah, and this goes as, okay, so now we have, there's no reason, that they don't really know why Neanderthals just died out, other than they weren't smart enough, but they were around for hundreds of thousands of years, right, if in the fossil record, and all of a sudden they just like, oh, Homo sapiens came and they died out. So it would make more sense that some type of, if they were scared of humans, like, because humans, like, probably back in the day were fucking super savage, way more.
We were murdering, we were murdering
all these
left
people.
and right.
So if they were there, like, we're murdering all their families and shit, they'd eventually just like, okay, these guys are bad news, like, let's get the fuck out of here, pretty much. And they went to the deep fucking forest, the high mountain ranges, like somewhere where we would never go, and they just continually existed in there forever. That could be, that could lead a little credence to like the theory of like some type of Bigfoot or other type of upright walking hominid roaming the forests of the world.
I think so. It's a possibility. I don't see why not. Go ahead.
I was looking up game cameras and stuff because I was like, oh, like how come a hunter's never caught one on a game camera? And like, there's some weird videos. There's some weird videos and there's some weird like clips. Do we want to get into like evidence of them?
Yeah, that's like
whatever.
We can theorize what they are, but let's go to the evidence of what's been accounted for.
Okay, so Dan, I know you're gonna know the name of this. What's the name of the famous Bigfoot video? Let's talk about
Patterson-Gimlin film.
Patterson.
Yeah, the Patterson video. That's the main
one.
And Ryan, what do you think about that one? What do you think about that video? We've all seen. I don't have to rewatch. I know.
Well, like obviously it looks fake because it looks too real at the same time, right? It looks like a guy in a monkey suit with like a low grain footage. But you guys say it first, and then we'll go into some theories about it. What do you guys think?
I think it's a guy in a prosthetic suit, and I think it's an early indication of a really well done costume. The reason why I think it's a costume is because I think I may have said this earlier on a podcast. The original Batman films before Dark Knight, all the costumes, the headpiece had to be mounted onto the shoulder. So it went into a shoulder and chest piece, which made you not be able to move your neck. So when you had to turn, it gave you a very stiff appearance, and to like look to the side, you had to rotate your shoulders. Now, if you watch that video and you watch that Bigfoot walk across, it takes steps and then it turns not from the neck, it turns from the shoulders, and it rotates its lower back and it opens its chest towards the camera to look over without turning its head. So I think it's I think someone had crafted a really early, excellent costume. And like my proof is like, we couldn't have a Batman costume until fucking 2013 that like could move a neck. Right. And to me, that's the proof in that one that it's fake. Is the neck. There's no neck movement. It's too stiff.
Right. And that's like the debunking side. That's exactly what they say, pretty much. Like it looks like a suit. However, the other side of the argument. Actually, you know what, Dan? What do you think first before I give the other side?
I mean, there's a lot of evidence saying that it was a hoax because Roger Patterson and Robert Gimlin, the two guys who were shooting it, they were actually out there to shoot a movie. Like they were out there. They're both filmmakers, and they were out there to make a movie. And I mean, there's a lot of things saying that they had a costume or they had access to people who could make a costume that looked that good. And it's just that film is so perfectly shot and it's so nicely framed that I'm like, part of me says like, no, it's got to be fake. You'd have somebody walking through there, and I think it kind of looks like a suit too, because it's just kind of the way it moves. Yeah, it's like Brayden said, it's really stiff. It's not moving how an animal would move. If this thing is supposed to move like silently through the forest, it doesn't look like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I've seen other videos that are better that probably might have been real Bigfoot, but that one I think looks a little fake.
Yeah, and okay, now, like the people who truly believe it, who are just grasping onto it, they say like, if you zoom in, there's actually some good videos, like they'll zoom in on like the head and they zoom in on the torso, and actually people like claim that it's actually a female. If you look, there's actually like breasts like swinging, right? They're like, well, why would they go through the trouble of trying to like make breasts and shit? And they also say like the way it walks, like the gait of how it like strides is not human like. That's what they deduce. And when the arms swing, they say like it doesn't look like a costume. That's the other side. Like the way they swing the arms, like the way the joint bends, and like it doesn't bend like a fucking like a rubber suit or a big costume. It like actually like it looks almost real. But again, like Patterson, he had made a Bigfoot film before this video came out,
and that's something that people overlook all the time.
Yeah, and he was a known, like he was a fanatic with Bigfoot. He was like known that he wanted to find it, and so it's like that just makes it tough. Like if you're searching for something, and then all of a sudden you have a perfect frame video, a little bit grainy, hard to see. You're like, oh, come on, man, like. It's tough.
Yeah.
Though it's fucking cool. Like it is cool. And maybe it was real, and everyone's just like, nah, it can't be real. He's just too lucky. And then for him, it's just so unfortunate. Like, oh, the one Bigfoot I found. Like no one's ever gonna believe me. But I agree. Like just the way it like turns at the camera and like looks. Like if they're so hard to find, you think it's just gonna like let you film it?
Yeah.
Like if they're really like a pre-human. And they're like more like an ape. They probably have really good smell. They probably have night vision. If they could probably hear you before you're even there, they would just know not to be there. If that's what it is, they're not going to just let you walk up and film them. They're going to hear you or smell you or see you. Like it's not going to happen.
You got these creatures that have been avoiding humans for thousands of years, and you have a deer or bears can smell you from a mile away. They can hear you. It's everything. Gone. Like as soon as you crack a twig or anything, you know.
Yeah, and who's to say that these things don't have like good sight and like the smelling of like the sense of smell of a grizzly, like something just crazy.
Even gorillas are pretty. Primates in general pretty much have the same. They're not us. I'm sure they have more smell receptors than we do, and they'd be able to tell if you were around. Get out of there.
Oh, for sure. I think if humans actually killed these things like and chased them out of habitats, they would know. And they're not dumb animals. They're pretty smart. If they are some type of ape or like pre-human, they would know like these humans are bad news. Like just avoid them completely. Like just go deep in. Never show yourselves. So if Bigfoot or those type of creatures are real, you're not just going to see one by chance. You're going to have to like run into one, like sneak up on one, like when they're sleeping or something, like, or fucking shoot them from a mile away or something. Like I think that's not going to happen any other way.
Yeah. Now we've looked at a couple other footage. Dan, you're going to have to send those links to me or Ryan so we can put them on Twitter. But like the two videos that I've seen one of them before, but the other one Dan showed me, I think they're way better evidence.
Yeah. I sent Brayden and Zell these two links to two videos off of YouTube. They're fairly recent, and they're a lot more compelling evidence than the Patterson-Gimlin film for the existence of some sort of hominid living out in the forest. One of them, I think both of them, take place in the southern United States, and they're like, you watch them and it's like, you see, what's the first one? What was the first one I sent?
The first one you sent was, where is it now? Uh-oh.
I have them up. I don't remember which one I sent first.
It's not the.
Is it where he's picking at the tree? Is it the one that he's picking at the tree, or the one
the other one? The one in the
swamp.
Digging in the swamp kind of thing.
Yeah, digging in the swamp.
Yeah, I mean, you watch one of these videos, and I guess we'll put them up on Twitter. The one of the videos is from Lettuce Lake Park, Florida, and a guy was in a canoe. He was canoeing through the park, and so this is basically a swamp area. And he gets this footage of some sort of animal. And at first, like, Braden, like, what did you think it was when you first saw it? Like, the first thing you see?
Well, because I can't really see, like, and I'm trying to be logical about it. I was like, okay, perhaps. I was like, first off, my head goes, perhaps it's a bear.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, it doesn't quite look like a bear. So then I was like, maybe a hog, right? Because I'm trying to think it's in Florida. So, chances are I don't have bears. So I was like, okay, so maybe it's a hog. And then it did an arm motion where you could see from the back, you couldn't see an arm, but you could definitely tell there was a shoulder moving.
Right.
So then I was like, okay, well, now I'm getting a clear picture of what it looks like. I thought it might be someone just standing in the swamp wearing a black hoodie, like a dark hoodie.
Right.
But then they stand up and you see the full body and you're like, oh, okay, it's not. And then whoever was filming it gets scared.
Yeah.
Right. And then but like for me, like when I watched it, I was like, okay, it could be, looks like maybe it could be a bear. And you kind of see the hand, like you see like its arm or its hand reaching into the water to like take a drink. And like it brings up the water to its mouth, much how like an ape would drink or something like that. And I'm like, okay, well maybe it's just a bear, it's fishing or something like that. But then it gets into the water and it goes in feet first. Like it lowers itself into the water. Then you're like, oh shit, that's not a bear.
Yeah. Oh, it's fucking weird, man. That video to me is far better than the Gimli fucking Patterson.
Yeah,
one.
I think it's far better evidence that something's out there. Like something's.
Well, it's kind of filmed through the woods. Like it's not a direct shot, like a perfectly framed, conveniently placed Bigfoot shot. It's like someone like seen something across the swamp, like, oh, what the fuck is that? And maybe it was like maybe they're downwind, so they couldn't, like, the thing couldn't smell them or hear them or whatever.
Yeah,
that makes more. I think that makes more sense of how you're gonna like if there is something out there, that's you're gonna find like just a chance encounter. Like, oh, what is that?
And you might think like the guy, like, oh, he's making a lot. He kind of makes a little bit of noise, like he's moving the oars around and the stuff. But when you're canoeing, that's usually your best chance to see anything because the canoes are relatively quiet. Like if you're moving around in a canoe,
and they're totally unexpected by animals too, right? They're animals. That's a totally unnatural piece of their environment, like something in the water,
floating around in the water. Yeah.
So this video, it's called "Compelling Footage of Skunk Ape / Bigfoot from Lettuce Lake Park, Florida." And the person I'm watching is called Bigfoot Evidence. And it's fucking weird. Like it's definitely something.
It's really good.
And it does move, like its arms and stuff. When it like gets in the water, it moves like an ape. It's weird. Like it has very ape-like movements.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. There's definitely a lot of different sighting videos. Like there's hundreds on YouTube. Some of them are obviously bullshit. Some are
a lot of them are full on bullshit. You see some of them, you're like, yeah, fucking. But these two, like I sifted through a bunch, and these two I hadn't come across before. But I came across these, and I sifted through a couple other ones, and I was like, these two are the best ones. And the other one I saw, it's just titled, "I think I saw a skunk ape, please help," and it's a video. And it's a guy like shooting it through the woods, same thing, but not in a swamp area. It's more like a heavily forested area, and he's kind of watching something through the woods, and looks like it's like picking at a tree, and you kind of think, well, okay, it could be a guy in a hoodie, could be somebody in like just black, gear or something like that, but it's like or it could have been a bear or something. You just think that at first, and the more you watch it, like you see like the kind of shoulders moving, and you kind of see hands like picking at this stump. I guess it looks like a deteriorated tree or something. But there's the thing that got me was there's this sound of like wood cracking, like dry wood cracking. Like you hear it like pick off a piece of wood, and it's like a snap, and you're like, that's not something you can normally do, like just human. Like you're not that strong to just like crack solid wood like that. Like that's something. That's what got me. I don't know. We'll put them on Twitter. You guys take a look at them and tell us what you think.
Yeah, give us your tips. But it's hard for me because, fuck, we should really do a. We've been out and we've looked for a Bigfoot before, though.
I've done some knocking.
I've done tree knock. I've never heard tree knocking, and I guess it's tough because how many times have I been in the forest and I've heard something fleeing, right, and not really know what it is? Like hundreds of times, right? You don't see it, you hear it just moving through bush, right? So it's like, fuck, how many times have I been really close to one, a potential one, right?
Yeah.
So my next question is, how much do you think it is how much do you guys think it is that this creature is elusive, or that the evidence that it's out there is being covered up?
Well, for evidence covered up, like, I don't know, like what evidence? What I'm not really sure because I haven't really seen any like. Well, maybe that's the cover up. We haven't really seen any evidence besides like some footprints that some claim to be real and some claim to be fake.
A lot of people have brought it up on Facebook and stuff like that. There's a book called Missing 411,
right?
And it's about the total amount. There's a lot of statistics. People have started putting together about statistics and people who have gone missing in America's national parks. Like the National Park Service has an immense, parts of land that are even all those parks, a lot of those places, like large tracts of land, people are not allowed to go to. And you could some people kind of theorize you could track up a lot of these disappearances. Maybe they're Sasquatches, they're being covered up. People don't want people to know about them, so you still go to the parks. You go to Yellowstone, you go to the all these different parks and stuff like that, and you feel safe when there's actually something.
If it came out that there's 6 fucking giant apes that snatch up people would hesitate to go and pay to go.
Oh fuck yeah! No one's going to the woods anymore.
Or you get a bunch of crazies out there with guns, and then you'd end up people getting shot. And I've also heard like theories about like there if you're in law enforcement, you cannot. Like if you reported that you saw Bigfoot, or these reports, like you take them seriously, usually you're at risk. I think most law enforcement would probably agree that like your career's at risk.
You'd be ostracized. 100%.
You'd be going to psych evaluation, stuff like that. And I know at least in the States, there are law enforcement officers that come out like years after the fact that maybe they're retired, there's stuff like that, and they say these things are out there. We see them, and like they've been part of whether it's park rangers or something like that. Like they've been part of operations to tag these things and track them. There are families of them out there, but we cannot tell the public about them. They're saying some of them say that it's a fact that it has to do with like the large influence of logging companies, and that if there was a species that was declared endangered or at risk, like these hominid creatures were declared to exist, that the logging companies would not be able to operate the way that they do, and it would be a huge hit to either economy or some sort of infrastructure problem.
Right.
I can see that, and forestry is a huge industry, and I could definitely see them wielding that kind of power.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, there's a lot of forestry, but then there's a lot of forests that are never logged and will never be logged also. So,
right.
Yeah, but I could see, if people are logging and they fucking see these things, they're like, well, we can't tell anyone about these fucking things. Like,
it's just like the eagle, like eagles. Like, if they see an eagle nest, they can't cut that tree down and shit, and like certain fucking birds' nests and stuff. Do you honestly think these fucking guys go out there and are stopping? I guarantee they just say, "Don't fucking tell anyone," and they just mow it down.
Right? They're like, they tell their boss or whatever, and their guy's like, "Don't you fucking say anything. Like, just cut the trees down, or like you say something, you're not getting paid, you're getting fired." And I'm pretty sure like the people who are working as lumberjacks, I don't know about in Canada, because that might be a normal thing for you guys, but in the U.S. it's not like the cream of the crop. This is like the best job, I don't think.
right. No,
it's not like a high demand.
Hey, lumberjacks are respected up here.
Yeah.
Respectable job.
I'm a lumberjack and I don't care. I sleep all day or I work all. I can't remember.
And there's evidence of the rich lumberjack culture that is Canada.
Okay, I want to tell you guys about one thing. Okay, you know, like the story of the giant panda, how they're like a fucking myth for like 60 years.
Yeah.
You guys ever hear this before? Like, the original story, original stories of the panda was like, there's this giant fucking bear in the jungle, a white bear, and it fucking is in trees and it eats all this stuff. Like, but we can never find. They could never find it forever. And then they finally went on like expeditions for like 30 years looking for this thing. They could never find it. It was a myth. And then they kind of like stopped looking for it. And 30 years later, someone fucking shot one. It was like, holy shit, it's real. Like,
yeah.
And that's a panda. That's a panda. That was like 120 years ago. So like a long time ago, but not that long ago in the history of the world. So
the same thing with the mountain gorilla. Like the mountain gorilla was like a myth until like the early 1900s. They thought it was just like these weird giant men who lived in the jungles of Africa, and then they finally found gorillas. But that was early 1900s.
I think people really believe that Earth is small, and because of technology and stuff, it does feel small, but it's vast beyond comprehension.
There are still huge chunks. There's still wide swaths of forest that are places that are unexplored, and there's still stuff in there.
Yeah, like they're finding animals like on a daily basis, like new insects, new birds, new mammals. Like,
given most of them are smaller.
Well, every time I watch Planet Earth and I see some of those new birds, I'm like, how have I never seen this fucking bird before dancing around?
There's just so many fucking species on Earth, and like if you take let's say put all the humans onto one part in the Earth, like in a dense spot, we only are making up like 5% of the actual land, like the surface area of the planet, like what we use. But we're just spread like so far, like over the planet, like we're everywhere. But if you like consolidated that down to like one chunk of land, it would be like 5% of the Earth's surface area we could all live in, pretty much. Super dense, obviously, but there's just like so much land that we'll never really explore. Like so many mountains, so many forests. There's so much shit that we may never actually get to, like on foot. We might be able to do it like by plane and like infrared camera, and like, oh, what's down there? Oh, there's something living down there. Maybe we should go check it out. But until they start really scanning these deep forests, like with that kind of technology, like I don't think you're really going to find Bigfoot on accident.
No.
Okay, there's like
all those like.
What?
What's that? They've got all those like Bigfoot organizations, like the fucking Pacific Northwest Sasquatch Watch,
BFRO, Pacific Great Ape Society or something like that. Yeah, there's a couple
that dedicate thousands and thousands of dollars into fucking trying to find this shit.
Yeah,
and
and you could say some of them are a scam, but it's like a lot of organizations are like that. There's got to be some. I just want to hope that there's some kernel of truth in there. Like there's something out there.
Yeah.
Well, with drones, like with the advent of drones, like with thermal cameras and drones, like you think that you should be able to find get some good shots of something, right?
You know what it would take? It would take like one rich guy to invest like a couple $1,000,000, buy like 1,000 or 2,000 game cameras, spread them over a whole fucking forest in what supposedly is a Sasquatch hotspot, record for a month, observe all the data, and be like, if that's the case, if you put these things up on trees, they have no smell, they have no, like, there's no scent, they don't, like, you never be able to see them, they're camouflaged in the trees.
Yeah.
If there is like a species out there that's not discovered, like, eventually you'll find it if you spend enough money and put enough cameras in the woods. But like
if the government wants you to find it.
Yeah, exactly. But like these big organizations, they might put like 100 or 200 cameras at a time, which is like, one of those cameras is like $400 or $500, right? Those like critter cams.
Yeah.
They're like the motion censored ones, the night vision ones. So like you need some money to like do this until someone like really puts in like a huge fucking contribution. You're never really going to be able to cover the area that to like really find something like this. If it is a species and there is a family structure, it's probably a very small family structure, and they're probably super deep in the woods and they only come down like very rare, let's say, until you really fucking go deep into like the heart of darkness and put up all these cameras and like infrared and all the shit. I don't think you're really going to find it. If it is one.
Yeah.
If there's one there, right?
Yeah.
Well, and even then I would argue that like if you push into the bush, chances are maybe you'll push them out, right? Like,
oh, exactly. Yeah. If they have ape hearing, smell, and like night vision,
well,
you're never going to get
maybe
close
they
enough.
don't. Maybe they don't set up homes. Like,
yeah,
maybe they're wanderers.
Like,
right?
I've heard some reports that they're a migratory species. Like there's some people that claim that they see these creatures coming through like every year. Like they see like groups of them. They just come through their area, moving from one place to another. You know,
that's crazy.
So it could very well be. I mean, even in places like in Canada and stuff like that, they could move out to more like pastoral places during the summer times. And the winter times, either they go out to the coast or where they can find like shellfish and things. I mean, these things are probably more than likely they're omnivores. They can eat pretty much anything, just like humans. So I would assume you survive this long. So they could either survive on the coast or they could survive on, in the forest itself.
Yeah, I could definitely see them being omnivores, eating mainly plant vegetation, but then like obviously like some fish or some fucking clams or like kind of scavenging too. But we don't really fucking know.
Don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
Oh.
But like it's just like with fucking aliens, like with all the technology coming out now, eventually if it is true, if there is something out there, someone's gonna get a full HD video, like undisputed, like holy fuck, that's a fucking Bigfoot. Like not just like through the trees, like, oh, it kind of looks like he's fishing in the water with his hands. It's gonna be like a full on like, holy shit, it's a fucking Bigfoot. Like, oh my god. Like there's like, is this eventually gonna happen if there's one out there? I think.
Yeah, that would. Well, okay. What would you rather have at this moment? Bigfoot or aliens?
Aliens. It's not a fucking no question.
Yeah.
Yeah, aliens. Yeah, aliens.
I'm gonna say if there's aliens, that ups my probability of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But if there's Bigfoot, it doesn't do the same for aliens. Like,
unless Bigfoot is an alien, like some people claim.
Yeah.
I've heard you hear like the theories of like, oh, I've kind of read the theory before that, oh, Earth's a prison planet and the aliens are putting on all their species they don't like. They're just sending them here. I'm like, well, why the fuck would they do that? If they're the problem species, why would you just go through all the effort of taking them off your planet and sending them to Earth? Well, it doesn't make any sense, but that theory is floating around the internet, definitely. But like, okay, what else on Bigfoot? Like, is there any other? I mean, there's so many videos. Go watch them all. A lot of them are bullshit. I mean,
a lot are good. There's a lot of
don't
good
watch
ones.
them all because there's like hundreds out there fucking garbage. You sit there for 3 minutes just to hear somebody heavy breathing.
You watch them all.
And
you
like,
watched every single one of these videos.
Don't
get
do
back
it.
to us.
Don't do it.
No, okay. Let's go. Okay, let's go with the Bigfoot prints. That's like the main piece of evidence, and obviously
The what?
the Bigfoot footprints, right? The actual footprints of Bigfoot.
Oh, okay.
I thought you said Prince.
Well,
I thought that you were going to start talking about the fucking hierarchy of the fucking royalty of the big feet. I was like, what?
Who
I was
has
like,
the biggest foot?
I've never heard.
He who has the biggest foot. No,
They settle their differences through Indian leg wrestle.
that is the ultimate. Ultimate feat of strength.
Native American, First Nations leg wrestle.
All right.
Yeah, we're politically correct on the show.
Yeah.
Or maybe we're talking about people from actually India. So yeah, who knows?
Maybe.
Okay.
Who wants to claim that they came up with that? What was that, Ryan?
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, we're talking about the feet, the footprints.
Yeah, the big feet.
The big feet. So obviously, like, we know, like, there's been that guy who fucking stomped around with big fake feet on.
Yeah.
And made prints.
Right.
But what Lloyd Pye, the same guy I was talking about earlier, is he says some of these prints, just like crop circles, like most of them are man-made, but there's some that are like, oh man, that's super weird. Some of these prints, he claims, in the mud, actually like produce like dermal ridges. So if you were to step with your bare foot in sand, like your heel and stuff is soft, so when it hits the sand, it kind of like compresses and makes like a wider, like dermal ridge. So
yeah.
It's kind of like a fingerprint, right? But your foot. But if you were to step in that same piece of sand with a fucking plank on your foot, there's no give in the board. It's a board, just like it goes down and it's a board, right? It creates this like big ridge on top. Not a dermal ridge, just like an imprint ridge. Like if you were to push like a piece of wood into the ground, like it would like just raise the mud up around because there's no give. But where your heel, he says, is if you were to step down with your heel gives, like it's soft, so it creates like a nice gentle like dermal ridge around the footprint. And he says some of these fucking big footprints, he claims, either they're done with a prosthetic foot that is like really super well done, and if it's that well done, they should be giving those to every fucking amputee out there because they're that good.
Yeah.
Or he says that it's an actual like fucking flesh and blood foot that's just that big. And he also claims that a human foot like has like, especially if like a normal arch, you have like that very human like shape of a foot, right? Kind of like your heel and the inside of your foot or the outside of your foot and then your toes. But where the Bigfoots are just like a perfectly like symmetric, almost symmetrical footprint because they don't really have, it's like a different foot, right? It's like it matches like the old pre-humans in those tracks I was talking about in the ash. How their footprints are very like flat and well formed, and they walk a little bit different than us. They don't really swing their legs like humans do. They walk more like an ape, pretty much.
Right.
So he's saying like some of these footprints actually produce like a dermal ridge, like an actual like fingerprint almost. But there's really like, it's hard to prove because unfortunately there's so many fucking hoaxes that how do you sift through like the real ones and get to the fake ones and get to the real ones? Like it's too hard almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, sifting through the fake stuff is like the hardest part. There's so much shit out there, and it makes me so angry sometimes. Like I listen to a lot of Bigfoot stuff, and because I want to find the real stuff that's going on. And you get some people that are like, I got Bigfoots that come up to my property every night and they bang on my windows and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why don't you take a fucking picture? Like, what? Like, why'd you put up some trail cams outside your house or floodlights or something like that? But you never see any of that. They just talk about it. It just pisses me off. It just makes me really angry.
Yeah, like, why you ruin it for everyone? So is that part of the conspiracy? Like someone's paying these people to fucking make fake stories, or are the people just like trying to get fame,
right?
like trying to get a little bit of money off of it?
Like,
yeah, I think that's part of the problem.
If you're listening to our podcast right now and you had any fucking thoughts of going out and trying to hoax people, don't do it. Like you're only damaging fucking efforts. Because then when people do see something, everyone goes fake, fucking fake.
Yeah. Anything else on Bigfoot? I mean, there's just like there's hundreds of videos. There's tons of theories. If it's real, it's coming to light here soon. Like someone will fucking find one. I know there's claims. Okay, wait, that just fucking reminded me. There's actually a show on Netflix right now. It's a couple years old. It's called Bigfoot Files, where they take actually. Okay, what's this guy's name? His name is Brian Sykes. He's like the father of genetics, like genome sequencing, like DNA sequencing.
What a cool title.
Right? Yeah, father of genetics or DNA sequencing. Anyways, Brian Sykes, he has a show. Well, he's part of the show. It's called Bigfoot Files. It's on Netflix right now. And they take a lot of these famous supposed Bigfoot hairs, and he does DNA analysis on them because he's found a way to, like, the inside of of the hair is like a perfect source of DNA. For the most part, unless it's like sun damaged or whatever. But a lot of these people claim that they found them in the woods, or it's definitely a Bigfoot. It's definitely a Bigfoot. So he analyzed like 35 samples from all over the world of supposed Bigfoots. And unfortunately, he never got, well, it was never reported that he got a match that was a non-known species. But what he did get is he found in like the Himalayas, there was some people give 2 separate samples were given to him, and he analyzed them, and it didn't match any modern species, but it matched like an ancient polar bear. So his theory is that there's actually in the Himalayas, like the Yeti, right? They call the Yeti the abominable snowman, because there's like its tales of like it'll eat their goats and their cattle and shit, and it'll tear them apart and all this stuff. His theory is that it's actually a type of bear that lives in very high altitude that's not really discovered. It matches like an ancient prehistoric polar bear. That's
still pretty cool.
It's still
which makes sense why they're eating things, and people are so scared of Yetis, because it's like if you came across a polar bear, you're done. Like those things will just love killing.
Yeah, like polar bear is the only bear that actually hunts humans. They'll actually hunt humans and eat them if they can.
I say.
So like
they do not give a fuck.
That's what he found. Like he even took, I don't know if you heard, I can't remember this guy's name. I didn't pull it up, but a guy, he claimed to have shot at a Bigfoot, wounded it, but it got away. But then he shot a baby Bigfoot, supposedly. But he was so scared that of like being called like a poacher and like hunting an endangered animal or whatever. So he left it. And then when he came back a few days later to like take a picture of it, it was gone. Like he hid under some sticks and stuff, but it was gone. But it left a piece of flesh behind, or a piece of hair. He's like, oh, I found Bigfoot fur. So he gave it to Brian Sykes, but turns out it was just like, it was a black bear. And then the guy's like, it's like guys like that. You're like, if I shot a fucking Bigfoot let's say by accident, I would fucking take that body back to town right away.
Yeah.
I would fucking full on go to the police and be like, listen, I fucked up. I shot the wrong animal. My bad, but it's a fucking Bigfoot. Look at this thing. Like, I swear to God, like, come on. But he, like, it's stuff like, it's those type of stories, like, come on, man. Like, if you actually shot one, fucking bring it back and show people. Like, if we get it, you thought you did something wrong, but it's a fucking Bigfoot. Come on, let's go. I don't know.
Fucking.
So yeah, look up Brian Sykes. Like, he does a lot of DNA. He's like he's like top in the world DNA guy. So if you have a Bigfoot hair, or you think a Bigfoot hair, send it to him. He might analyze it, and if like, maybe that's part of the conspiracy. He's trying to fucking botch it, but he seemed in his interviews pretty legit. Like, listen, guys, science is not about dismissing stuff. It's about testing the facts. So like, give me your samples, and I'll fucking DNA test them. And if it's an unknown species, I'll find out. Like, I'll know right away. Pretty much is what he said. Unfortunately, he didn't find anything. There's other accounts of, like, I can't remember what her name was, but a pretty much disproven geneticist said she found samples that were unknown species, but it's pretty much rejected by every scientist known to man. So I don't know. That's where the hoax thing comes in. Like, fuck, how do you sift through? Like, what's real, what's not? Anyway.
Yeah, it's just a sad state of paranormal investigation. Sometimes you're just like, you can't like, even if you do find something, like, most people won't believe you because, you know, that's mainstream science. Sometimes you can't get it in there. They have a hard enough time with it. I mean, whatever, in the US, getting to people to take climate change seriously. It's like, Bigfoot? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, so Jesus.
Anyways, anything else on Bigfoot? Like, I think, like, I'm not gonna say I don't believe, but I just think there's nothing really that's been like, whoa, yeah, Bigfoot for sure.
No, that's all.
No. I would say watch those 2 videos that we're gonna put up and like look at those ones. Those are, I think, pretty close to anything that like good evidence to be say okay, there's something worth looking into. But draw your own conclusions, I guess.
Yeah, we don't claim to know the answers. We try and sift through it, but yeah, we usually fail.
Do our best.
We usually fail.
You just talk about it.
Okay, and you guys want Brayden? Did you have some? Did you have an Ask Me Anything going? Anything you want to talk about there?
No, because I've been responding throughout the people.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me give a quick peek and see if I want to give anyone a shout out. Infamous. Tim Fahey.
Tim Fahey. Yeah.
He sent a picture of Bubbles and it just says, "Holy fact, boys, it's the Sam Squanch."
It's Sam Squanch.
Fuck,
Smoking up all your weed.
The fucking Sam Squanch.
Okay, I put one on Facebook.
Pretty good Bubbles.
Sam Squanch. I put one on Facebook. While we're on the topic of Bigfoot, someone said, KJ Cowan, Loch Ness Monster? Question mark? Same type of thing as Bigfoot or what?
I think I could be chalked up to hoax pretty hard.
Yeah, I agree.
They disproved the original one, the surgeon's footage. Guys, I put a little thing on top of it. Yeah, no.
I fucking lived nearly my whole life beside a lake that housed a Loch Ness type monster called Ogopogo.
Ogopogo.
Yeah, it's true. In Kelowna, BC.
Ogopogo.
In Kelowna, BC, we do have a lake monster called Ogopogo.
Ogopogo.
Or as the natives call it, I think they call it Noctic or Noctic, something like that.
It seems way easier to say than Ogopogo.
There's a fucking great Mike Tyson's Mysteries episode on the Ogopogo, and it's just this one guy just running around the episode screaming, "Ogopogo!" No Ogopogo ever, but pretty funny. But I've never seen Ogopogo. I've seen companies come and go throughout the years hunting Ogopogo. Nothing.
They did a show, an episode of Monster Quest, an Outdoor Life Network on Ogopogo. They found some type of rotting carcass deep down, but it ended up just being a salmon. So, yeah.
Salmon.
Yeah, there's fucking huge, enormous sturgeon in that lake.
Well, yeah. That's also conspiracy because no one's ever caught one. So, who knows? And what else was I going to say about Ogopogo? Oh yeah, Ogopogo, the scientific explanation for Ogopogo is called a standing wave. Yeah. So in the summer, in the summertime, when it gets really hot out, the top few feet of water gets really warm, but the the rest of the lake is freezing cold. It creates this really weird current on the top, and it makes it look like a big serpentine long S, which is the theory of Ogopogo, it's a long serpent creature. But the wave never moves. It's just the current just pulling the waves over and over. It's just a standing wave, just never moves. That's the scientific explanation for the Ogopogo, which kind of makes
Ogopogo.
Because I've actually been on the lake before and watched on my camera filmed a standing wave. Holy shit, it's Ogopogo.
Ogopogo.
Ogopogo. But it never moves. So. And for our small lake to house a fucking family or a culture of Ogopogos, which it would take to survive.
Ogopogo!
One more time.
Sorry, what?
Nothing. Okay, what else we got on Facebook? Some guy, Jacob Ross. A lot of people have been asking about this. We've never done it. We've never really talked about it. The Sandy Hook possible hoax. Danny, know anything about that?
Sandy Hook.
I'm not super familiar.
Flag ones?
Yeah.
What is it? Remind me. Give me a rundown. I'll probably remember.
I don't really know.
The elementary school shooting.
Yeah.
The guy walked in with the AR-15 and started shooting.
Yeah, they're
kids.
saying that was a hoax.
Well, there's I guess there's a lot of conspiracy behind it. Like those kids are like they're missing, but they're never really reported dead or something. We'll look into it because a lot of people asked about it. So
Sasquatch got him.
hey, maybe.
Damn squatch.
Maybe they went for a trip to a national park and then fucking got taken.
Yeah.
What we should do then is, rather than just do one on Sandy Hook, because I don't think we would get very long, I think we should just do false flags. Because I know there's they think the Boston bombing's fake. There's a couple others I've read that people think are hoaxes.
I don't necessarily think the Boston bombing is fake, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was some type of a staged false flag in some way. It's hard to say fake because people were affected by that, but
yeah,
I don't know. We'll look into it, definitely.
Yeah, we'll get in there.
We'll get the answers. Just like we came out first with the Vault 7.
Well, we missed it by a little bit, but we got it pretty close. Okay, one more. Alexa Rose, how come you don't post any selfies? We want to see the alien theorist theorizing crew. And I said, faces for radio. Simple.
Oh my god.
That's it.
Sounds about right.
I did post some videos of us dancing early on and a couple.
Yeah.
If you dig deep enough, you can find what we look like. We just, we don't want
to make it easy for you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just too popular. We don't want stalkers.
Yeah.
We're like Daft Punk. We don't want to show our faces. Keep the mystery alive. Which they might have a world tour coming up soon, 2017. I'm pretty excited.
Daft Punk?
Yeah. They said they might. I think their promotional team said they might be having a world tour coming up this year.
That'd be cool.
So they only tour every decade, like every 10 years. Last one was 2007.
Weird.
That's crazy.
Nuts.
Okay, let's get to the end here. Let's a couple house cleaning things. Brayden, what do you got? Anything?
No, I don't. I don't think I have anything.
You're all right. Okay, T-shirt update. T-shirt round 2. It's pretty much been a year since we first said anything about T-shirts.
Woo!
It's been a few months since we chose the winner. But the T-shirts are ordered. They are being printed as we speak. So hopefully by next case file, or definitely the one after that, next couple of weeks.
What was it? Did we go with the brown T-shirt?
Oh, we can't tell what it is. Oh, wait. Oh. No, we can tell what it is, I think.
Because it's very fitting.
It's very fitting for this episode. Is our friend Abel Jimenez. He drew us a fucking El Nasty maple leaf logo that says El Nasty, established 2016. It's gold on black t-shirt. It's fucking sweet. And it's coming soon.
Gold on black?
Gold on black.
That'll look fucking sharp as fuck.
We'll have guys and girls sizes. We're gonna do the exact.
Wearing that up in the club.
We're gonna do the exact same order as last time, but we have about triple the listeners, so they're gonna go real quick, I think. So if you want one, stay tuned. I have set up on the website alientheorist.com. There is a legit fucking shopping cart where you can click on the shirt and order it that way. Pay through PayPal. More legit. We get an email. You put your size in. It's all taken care of. Less hassle for everybody.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for these shirts. They're going to be cool. I know we've gotten messages from people wanting some of the alien skulls. That awesome design by Danica, our first place winner in the first ever t-shirt contest. And we had talked about perhaps re-releasing limited runs later on.
Yep.
But you know what? I still don't think. I think the people that have those shirts should be the only ones that ever get them.
I disagree because it's such a fucking cool shirt, and we only printed 45 of them. So we'll see.
Yeah, it is a cool shirt. I do kind of like that. There's 45 people out there that have a limited edition shirt.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. So if we ever do like a live, like if we ever go to like some type of Comic-Con, we'll bring those type of shirts with us. It'll be like
awesome.
a fucking legit, like, you gotta come.
That kind of stuff, we need to speak off air a little bit.
There's something being planned that we're actually going to do this year. If you've been listening for a long time, we talked about it, and then we said we couldn't do it, but I think we're going to do it this year. That's an Easter egg. You got to go find what we mean, and we'll talk about it like off air, and we'll let you know in the near future.
What do we want to do next? I want to do... Okay, because, hold on, we got to plan a big one, too, because I'm heading back to my hometown, so I can do one live in studio in April.
Oh, it's been a while since you had a live one. It'll be fun.
So we gotta plan a real good one. Oh, maybe we'll do another, like a weird mysterious death or something.
It's a good one. It's always fun.
Another like Alyssa Lamb type of style.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll do some digging and see if I can find some mysterious deaths. Lisa Lamb or Yatzlav Pass or something like that.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Those are good ones. Group deaths are the best. Not for the people dying, and their families, but
unexplained.
No,
unexplained.
Hey, we're trying to help those families out. We're trying to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah,
there you go.
Okay, a couple more things. Last case file, I gave a shout out, and it was a complete fucking failure because I said the completely wrong thing. I said if anyone wants to take part in some offline discussions about conspiracies and aliens, go check out one of our favorite prolapsers, Ben Walgate. His page, I called it Disclosure. It's actually called Undisclosed. So search that on Facebook. They got a few thousand members. They're always talking about cool stuff. Go check them out. And I got Zell's Prolapse of the Week. I got to give it out to our boy Abel Jimenez for making that shirt.
Is he a 2-time? I think he's 2-time because I think we gave him one before for winning this shirt.
He's going 2-time because he fucking 2-time champion of the world. No,
2-time.
2-time, yeah. No, he gave us the design, but then I told him he had to change it a little bit, and he did like right away. He's a fucking champion. He's getting a free shirt. Danica is also getting the free shirt because she was the first champion, and you promised her 2 shirts, but then I told her we'll give her 1 shirt, and then we'll give her 1 of this one. So Danica, you're getting yours. Don't worry. Anything else? You want to do? You got some reviews? I didn't do reviews last week without you, so you want to do a couple?
Well, I don't have that app loaded up so I can see
I got it loaded up if you want it.
Yeah. You can read one, but you got to do your impression of me reading them.
Okay, I'll do my best. Okay, here we go. This is called ATT from Jay Leffer from USA. Funny, entertaining, and interesting. I only wish there was 500 of these episodes in the bank so I wouldn't have to ration. Haha. Love it. Keep it up. How was that?
Sounds just like Braden.
That's weird. Your pacing was really good. All I could say
Braden 2.0.
Pacing was good. Wow. Okay, let's read a couple more.
I love that people have been sending our Twitter feed pictures of Owen Wilson.
I know. Which is the quote, wow, pretty much.
Yeah.
And like, nice smiley. Okay, new to the podcast. Clutch 76 from USA. I've always been into conspiracy theories and wanted to find one that didn't bore me after 2 minutes after listening to some guy that sounds like he or she is commenting a golf tournament.
I like golf.
I like golf too, but
that's like how I read reviews.
This is an entertaining podcast that has some funny moments, and you can tell that they have done their research. Oh, yeah. Everyone on the podcast has a good sense of humor, even the one that is drunk all the time. I'll drink with these guys.
I've honestly, I've been drunk on a podcast like 3 times, like really drunk.
Really,
and all of a sudden I'm the drunk guy.
Really drunk 3 times. Okay, I'm going to read one more here. What do we got? Master of Conspiracy Woolly Bone from UK. Love getting drunk and listening to the show. Get the flat earth clown's shoes back on. Okay. Is it possible that they are actually aliens trying to stop us from looking into space? Question mark. Larkal from Scotland is listening. Boom. There's a whole bunch of fucking...
Yes.
There's like 40 more. I can't read them all, so that's pretty much it. Sweet. Okay. Hey, we went for a while. We're sorry about the hiatus, but we try our best, so we're trying to be back next week and the week after.
Yeah, it's a really long one. We did this one, so...
Yeah, we almost did a fucking double tonight.
Yeah, pretty close.
Okay, one more thing I gotta plug. I said this a few case files ago, but I haven't had any more songs since. I said songs that I've recorded in the studio here at Meteor Studios. I'm going to put them at the end of the episode. So this week...
Oh, I'm excited. Who's that? Is this brand new, right? This is starting now.
I did one before like a month ago or something, but now I'm getting a lot of people in here now. The studio's getting established here in Kelowna, so I'm getting some good local artists. This guy's name is Jay Wesley. The song's called Free Love. And he owns actually a music magazine called Whale Magazine. It's for musicians by musicians. It's a pretty sweet magazine, actually. If you love music and you hate fucking the shitty pop music that's on the radio, go check them out.
Do they have Facebook or Twitter or anything?
Yeah, Facebook. So search Whale WAIL magazine, and it will pop right up. They got a website.
And listeners, do Ryan a favor. Go to that, listen to their stuff, comment, and just let him know where you came from.
Fuck yeah, he'll appreciate it because he's right? You know what, he's really fucking good. And what else was I gonna say? Oh, one more thing. We got a lot of listeners on the show now. We're in the thousands, but I feel like a lot of you are listening, but you haven't subscribed to the podcast. So instead of like searching for Alien Theorists every week, just go subscribe and it'll automatically download to your phone. If you push subscribe, that'll push us up the iTunes charts, and then more people will listen, and the show will get better. The more people listen, the more we want to do, the better we want to do it. So just push subscribe on whatever device you're listening on, and that'll help us out. And that's it for me. And rant over.
Dan, you got any news before we take off?
Go see King Kong. It's fun. I liked it.
New King Kong?
There's just the new King Kong movie, Kong Skull Island, just came out. I guess today for you guys. Friday.
Oh,
just came out today.
Yeah,
came out today. I saw it yesterday. Movies come out on Thursdays in Thailand, so I went to go see it.
Right.
It was pretty fun. It's good.
Sweet.
Okay, go see Kong Island. Go check out Whale Magazine on Facebook and enjoy this song. What was the name again?
Jay Wesley, Free Love. It's a pretty sweet song.
Jay Wesley, Free Love. And as always, keep those eyes on the skies.
Right on.
Understand deserve a tech career you love, coworkers you can count on, innovation you're proud to build. If you're ready to change the world through technology, explore a career at Cox. Make a real impact in engineering, development, cybersecurity, and more, all while experiencing work-life balance, flexible work options, and great benefits. Visit cox.career/tech to find a job you love today. That's cox.career/tech.